Hunter Biden finally speaks out, and progressives warn Pete Buttigieg against coming for Elizabeth Warren.
We're back with Kristen Hahn, a Democratic strategist and senior advisor for Rock Solutions, and Johnny Burtka, the executive director at the American Conservative.
Welcome back, Lady and Jen. Another shameless plug. Our debate coverage tonight. Make sure you catch it live before the debates and after the debates. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Get the notifications so you don't miss it. I'm obviously very excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun here, and you can, skip all the conventional wisdom over there on the cable news nets and get some real analysis right here on Hill TV. All right, so Hunter Biden, we found him. President Trump said, "Where's Hunter?" We found him. ABC found him.
On ABC.
He gave an interview. They said no topics were off limits. Of course, a lot of questions about his role on that Ukrainian energy company board, whether it was appropriate, whether he was qualified, etc. Let's take a look at a little bit of that.
No, in retrospect, look, I think that it was poor judgment on my part. I think that it was poor judgment because I don't believe now, when I look back on it, I know that did nothing wrong at all. However, was it poor judgment to be in the middle of something that is it's a swamp in many ways? Yeah, and so I take full responsibility for that. Did I do anything improper? No, not in any way whatsoever.
Kristen, did he do himself and his dad any favors with this interview?
I'm not sure he did himself any favors, but
it was kind of a mess, right? I mean, he's all over. Just
I don't know what they expect you to get out of it, but it's also, in my mind, it's a distraction, right? And every time we're talking about Hunter Biden, we're not focused on what was really improper and probably illegal.
But sure. But here's my thing. This is the problem that Democrats get into all the time. If we are parsing whether the corruption was legal or illegal, that is not a strong place to stand. It was not okay that Hunter Biden was serving on this board, making $50K a month by his own admission because of his last name being Biden, while his dad oversaw the portfolio with Ukraine. Don't Democrats have to admit that, or else they just look like hypocrites?
I think they do. I mean, how many memes is Trump gonna slice up from that interview and be blasting out to his supporters?
A swamp. I mean, this was a mess.
It was a mess.
Yeah,
I agree. You have to. Well, and then I want to go pivot back to the president committing impeachable offenses.
Right, and that's
I'm just saying. I agree. I'm not arguing with this. It's not good. The interview wasn't good. He shouldn't have been on that board.
Yeah.
Was it,
What I don't really understand is now he says, if my dad's president, I won't serve on any international boards. I mean, that logic should have applied when he was vice president.
I mean, I wonder if that's what's going to be asked of Joe Biden tonight on that debate stage, right? Was it okay for his son to serve, if not in a legal capacity, in a swampy capacity? I mean, we talked just earlier in earlier segments about how both the Republican and the Democratic Party, we have a rising segment of people in America who are sick of business as usual. They're sick of the swamp. Trump ran on draining the swamp, and that was a popular message, and not just in the Republican Party. Yeah. Is Biden going to be able to avoid this tonight? Are the other candidates, as you've suggested, Kristen, going to sort of try to move off that aspect of it and move on to impeachment with regards to what Trump did? Or is he going to have to answer for this and for what his son said this morning?
I don't think he'll have to answer for it right now. He might get a question, but I think everyone will move on pretty quickly. I think it'll be in the general election, if he's the nominee, where Trump really will come after him for this, and he'll have to answer some tough questions then.
Yeah. I mean, look, when Sagar and I interview Democrats on this show, we basically ask all of them if this was okay. And it's very telling, the response. We asked Congressman Ted Lieu, and he's, it's fine, it's perfectly. No, it's not. And so you had Elizabeth Warren, who got asked whether her corruption plan, a woman who was running on corruption, right, $10 million ad buy in Iowa, whether this was okay. And she said, no, I don't know. That her campaign got back to us, no, it would be fine under her administration, right? Essentially, the only candidates who have really taken a strong stand here have been Andrew Yang, who was very clear, and also Tulsi Gabbard. So if I was the moderators, I would want to hear what the other candidates had to say on the stage about whether they would let their vice president's son serve in a similar capacity.
Yeah, and I think that they should just answer the question and be done with it. I mean, I can see why a lot of the front runners, though, as candidates, don't want to hone in and focus on this. It might be something that will get Tulsi Gabbard, some, more attention by going after Biden. But if I'm, Elizabeth Warren or Pete Buttigieg or Bernie Sanders, I want to pivot pretty quickly and start talking about the issues. I mean, that's what I would do as a candidate. So it doesn't surprise me if they're not, heavily focused on this issue.
So let's talk about Mayor Pete. You brought him up in the last segment. So he's been sort of first of all, he's been going after Beto, which has been kind of funny to me. I don't know why he is punching Beto right now, but he's been doing that. And then he also made this comment about grassroots donors and said we can't beat Trump with pocket change, quote unquote pocket change, which was seen as a slam at both Warren and Bernie Sanders. I mean, is this an effective approach?
No, I don't think you should say stuff like that, and I think it was definitely a gaffe. So when Biden, it was like something that if I'm the campaign, I'm like, you shouldn't say that, because those small dollars do matter. We've seen, practically speaking, like you've said, they add up.
Warren and Sanders raised $50 million together.
Yes, exactly. On the flip side, and I'm not defending, his comment at all, but I do not like how on the Democratic side of the aisle over the past couple of years we've seemed to vilify large employers, and we've used campaign contributions as a way to do that. And so I get where he's going. Limited disclosed PAC contributions are not the problem. So I get what he's saying, and I agree with him. I wouldn't have said it that way.
Yeah, on the other hand, I mean, this again, it kind of ties in with the Hunter Biden debate. Like, if we're going to say we're the party that wants to get money out of politics, and then we're going to turn around and do these high dollar fundraisers and cozy up to oil executives and lobbyists and whoever, you look like hypocrites.
Yeah, and making $50,000 a year on retainer is just something that your ordinary person just can't even relate to. It's just an astronomical amount of money for your everyday person.
Well, and at the same time, Mayor Pete is out with a new ad that goes after the progressives on Medicare for all. Kristen, I mean, first of all, I know you agree with him on this issue. You're more of a moderate on healthcare, but do you think that attack actually lands when the Democratic primary electorate seems to be very much in favor of Medicare for all?
Here's where I think that I don't know exactly how to answer that question, right? We're having a huge debate in the party right now over this issue. I still believe it's the Democrats' repeal and replace. It is not doable. You're going to make promises you can't keep. What I think that Pete is trying to do, the mayor is trying to do, is carve out a space for himself if he makes it through to the general, right? But can you make it there? And that's always the line you have to walk.
Yeah.
I think that.
What is his lane in the Democratic primary? Because he's sunk to 5% or even below 5%. What is his play here?
I think it's harder to see. I think that he's been hurt by this electability issue. Like we want someone more established, and people are having a battle within themselves. So they want somebody that's going to take you, like Elizabeth Warren, all the way back over here to the left, or do you want somebody like Biden, who's a little bit more center of the road? And I think that a lot of Pete's support is probably landing with Biden.
Yeah, I think that's right.
But where Mayor Pete goes hard, right, is on social issues. And so is there a demographic, and we've talked about this before, how large is the demographic in either the Republican or the Democratic Party, but here obviously more importantly in the Democratic Party, that is fiscally moderate, but socially liberal, versus perhaps the reverse, where you have folks who are fiscally very, very far left, but maybe more moderate or even conservative on the social issues? How do those two groups of voters balance out? I mean, obviously Mayor Pete is going for the former. Is there a lane for the latter, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think especially in states like Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, I think there is an appeal to someone who does express a religious faith, even a Christian faith, but yet on social issues is more, let's say, center left or progressive, and I think he fits that bill perfectly. But I think it'll be interesting to see whether he takes it sort of a step too far and maybe follows in Beto O'Rourke's path. Beto said that he would strip churches and religious schools of their 501c3 status if they didn't support things like same-sex marriage. So I'm interested tonight whether Buttigieg or other candidates go down that path as well.
All right, let me put you guys both on the spot. Last question: what do you think the headline is going to be from tonight's debate?
I don't know. You go first.
Let's say Biden flops, Warren surges ahead.
Biden flops, Warren surges.
I think we'll probably continue with the Warren surge, some sort of
Warren surge.
headline
You think she'll deliver the goods, even as
I think
front-runner
because I think
status?
Biden does not need to make headlines out of a debate. He just needs slow
Does
and
he?
steady.
I don't know. He's losing right now.
Just slow and steady.
Okay.
Biden headlines out of a debate or not.
That's probably
Good
true. If
thing.
Biden's in the headline, it was not a good night for him. I think the headline may be Bernie's back because, you know, the pundits have really set the expectations very low for him. He's been very strong in his pre-debate interviews, so I think he could surprise a lot of folks tonight. We'll see. We will see. Thanks, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Tomorrow on Rising, all things debate, and as I said, make sure to tune in tonight for Hill TV's live coverage, pre and post debate. We've got pregame analysis from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m., our thoughts during the halfway mark, and an hour, a full hour of delicious debate goodness. We'll be streaming all this on YouTube Live and the Hill's campaign page. We'll have some special guests joining us, including Hill TV's Jamal Simmons, Bernie Sanders Senior Advisor Chuck Rocha, and so much more. Make sure you don't miss it. Subscribe now. Click that notification bell so that you know when we go live. And Naz, thank you so much. Great always to have you here.
And we'll see you guys tonight.